Hi and welcome to my channel. If you found your way here, you probably have 1,000 ideas for your first fashion collection. Maybe you already have lots of sketches, lots of inspiration, but every time you try to put them in order, doubt creeps in. How do you actually structure a collection that makes sense? Should I focus on strong statement pieces or on items that are easier to sell? How many designs do you really need to get started? How do you organize a balanced range, both for the market and for production? I'm Corrado Manetti, and in this video, I'll try to answer all these questions. These are in fact the questions we hear every day, and they're also very important and fundamental. The difference between those who build a solid brand and those who get lost in countless attempts often comes down to this: the strategy we use to build our collection. In the Via Designer method and in the book The Designer's Journey, as well as my previous book So You Want to Be a Designer Too, thank you, we always start from a key concept, which is the collection pyramid. It's a practical tool for visualizing the ideal structure of a collection, even if it's your first experience. In fact, you need to think of your collection as a pyramid. At the base are the most accessible products, the easiest to sell. In the middle are our best-selling products, the ones that will give you visibility and numbers. And at the top are the magical, iconic pieces, often the ones that sell the least, but always essential for telling your brand's story. Let's take a look at each level together. The base of the pyramid consists of entry-level products. These can be t-shirts, accessories, at a price point that allows even curious customers to come into contact with the brand. Here, what matters is ease of production, low minimums, and the ability to vary colors or details. These products are often underestimated, but they help build a community, spread the brand name, and generate initial sales even without large profit margins. At the intermediate level of our collection pyramid are the best-selling products. Here you need to identify the pieces that represent your aesthetic, that have a good quality-price ratio, and that are easy to communicate but also to produce and restock. These are often pants, sweatshirts, jackets, and shirts that can be reinterpreted each season, but maintain a strong consistency with the brand's message and aesthetic. The key word here is consistency. There's no point in having 10 different models if you can't guarantee their production or availability. At the top of our pyramid are the image pieces. The wow pieces are often the most complex, the most expensive, and maybe even difficult to produce in large quantities. They can be limited editions, collaborations, tailored garments, or prototypes that are shown in shoots and campaigns. These pieces serve for storytelling, they attract attention, set the tone and style of the collection, and get people talking about you even if they're not the best sellers. The secret of the collection pyramid is therefore balance. If you focus only on image pieces, on aspirational, iconic items, you risk not selling enough. If you only make entry-level products, you lose your uniqueness. If you have too many best-selling products without coherence, you lose your recognizability. At Mezzo di Design, when we work on a first collection, we always guide the brand to make choices. A few models, but well developed. Pay attention to materials and the possibility of restocking, which, as I mentioned, is extremely important. Don't invest in fabrics that might disappear after just a few months. We also put a lot of emphasis on building a clear storytelling. Every piece must have a reason to exist in the collection, not just be a filler item. To give you a real example, a brand that started with 12 models discovered that only 3 were truly in demand by the public. We worked to reduce the range, strengthen the best-selling pieces, turn one of the image pieces into a limited drop, and use the entry-level products for special campaigns and pop-ups. The result was more sales, less unsold inventory, and more energy and momentum in communication. A question I'm often asked is how many pieces are really needed for a first collection. There's no magic number. You can start with 3 to 5 well-made models and grow them season after season. Better to have a few, but well-crafted, tested, and consistent pieces, rather than a wide but unfocused range. Another question is, if I don't have the budget to do everything, what should I invest in? You need to invest in the pieces that tell your story, that you can restock, that you can showcase well on social media, at pop-ups, and at least one piece that can become iconic, that can become your manifesto. A classic mistake is trying to copy the iconic model of the big brands. Always remember, the big brands, the major players, have resources, distribution, inventory, and above all, a history that increases customer trust, which those starting from scratch cannot yet afford. The strength of a small brand, on the other hand, is agility, the ability to listen to your audience, to test, to change quickly, and to tell your own unique story. If you're afraid you won't seem good enough with a small collection, focus on presentation and high-quality photo shoots. Use emotional descriptions, pay attention to details, and above all, be transparent when telling the story of your production process. Another tip, always think about scalability from the start. Choose clothing suppliers and manufacturers who can support you even as you grow. Pick materials that you can restock and choose processes that won't hold you back if demand increases. In my first book, Do You Also Want to Be a Fashion Designer?, you'll find the collection pyramid explained step by step, with practical cases of brands that started with little and built their identity precisely by balancing iconic aspirational pieces with more everyday products. And if you want feedback on how to build the strategy for your first collection, you can request a free consultation where we will analyze your strengths, your cost map, and growth opportunities, and will also help you avoid the most common mistakes. As always, you'll find all the links in the description. If you found this video useful, if you want to explore these topics further, subscribe to the channel right now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my upcoming videos. And tell me in the comments about your difficulties or any doubts you have about how to structure your product range. The more we have the chance to exchange ideas, the more we'll help our generation of emerging brands work with method and satisfaction. And don't be afraid to start small because you have to start somewhere. The real strength lies in consistency, awareness, and the ability to grow your collection each season by applying the principles of the collection parallel. I'm Corrado Manetti from Via Designer. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.